Hello and welcome everyone, Sweet Apple here. I decided to do a review about the newest Star Wars The Last Jedi, Episode 8. I just saw the movie and it was not what I expect to see from it. I had seen some scenes from the thrillers from the movie itself, but it was not in the same way which I saw direct from the movie. And I have to say this, it was awesome! Even more awesome the first Force Awakens. I mean, the last one was more of a remake from episode 4, but episode 8, it was totally different from the others movies that have been made so far from a series. And it has contained a lot more details about what happened like during the 30 years after the Return of the Jedi. Especially exactly why Luke felt this disappointed what he's felt about the new generation of the Jedi. But this movie, it was so awesome, but at the same time unlike what the other movies are. I will talk about more about what I felt about this movie and about my own opinions of this new movie. But spoilers alert! Remember that if you don't want to see it, don't listen to more, have to wait to see a movie for yourself, what you think about it. But now let's start with the review. This movie has more of a little bit, kind of a little bit disappointment about this. Especially with Kylo Ren. Even he's the kind of new Darth Vader, but at the same time, he's not a Sith Lord. Since Supreme Leader Snoke was some sort of dark user, but not at the same time as a Darth, like the previous Darth Sidious or Darth Vader, he was not a Sith, but it still has the strong connection to the Force, even the dark side. But why didn't he decide to call himself a Sith Lord? That was not even explained why in this movie or the previous one. Most of this part of the story was much different from what I expect from us to see. Especially when, Finn woke up from his coma or something, and to see that the entire fleet was evacuated the base, not much a surprise, but since the First Order finally found out the location of the rebellion or the resistance. But most of from all this, why weren't they had like a second base before they made this? That must make sense. According to most of our history of wars, most rebellion often has more than one location of some sort of a secret base. But that seems not to be this. But most from all of these characters, one of those mysterious characters only known as DJ, some sort of smuggler, pilot, but I thought that character could be some great part. I mean, I thought maybe that DJ could be a more valuable asset or ally to the resistance. But it turns to be much wrong and as much. It turns out, after he was captured along with Rose and Finn, he sold them out. Even gave them out the location for the fleeing rebellion or the rebels in those uncloaked on those shuttles who's running away from the battle. It doesn't really make sense. Even he is offered to pay a lot of more money for it. It makes sense. I thought he would be some sort of a rogue pilot or smuggler like Han Solo was. It became like an asset or ally for this rebellion or this resistance. But I said no. And about this previous movie, The Force Awakens, where we saw Snoke, he was just an hologram. We couldn't see exactly how he looks like from the hologram. But to see in person was much different from what I seen. And his face was wow. It looks like he has been burned and sliced with a lightsaber. But that is not the point. His connection to the Force. It was even great stronger than I even imagined. He seems to be almost like over in his 50s years old, but it's still the same strong connection to the Force. It was wow. And even Kylo Ren, even he was like the new Darth Vader, but he had the lack of the charisma or the personality like the villain needs. Like Darth Vader, Darth Sidious, they were like their adults or mid-aged men or almost well adults. But Kylo Ren, no. But it was actually kind of good to see at least more detail about how Kylo Ren was falling for the dark side and why. And at least, I mean, to see that Luke came back but denied any help to resistance and even trained Rey to become a Jedi. But even he trained her the basic of how to become a Jedi, which helped to bring back the Jedi Order with Rey. Even Luke died at the end of the movie. But there was one character I was not even didn't believe to see, and that was Grand Master Yoda. Even he died in the previous one of the earliest movies in Return of the Jedi, but even he returned back. It was something I didn't expect to see it. But even when Snoke, by the way, used his Force connection to make some sort of a long distant connection between Rey and Kylo Ren through the Force, so they could, I mean, they could literally talk right out, but at the same time hearing each other. That kind of part of the Force was never explained in not in other previous movies or even the comics or the legend stories or even the Clone Wars. Nothing. That part of the Force has never been shown before. And all of this new characters, new development for these designs, all of this, it was actually much different from the first movie that previous made. And even on the island on the planet Acto, which Luke lived on for several years after he became exiled, those caretakers, they were not so happy about Rey. For example, she blasted a hole in the stone hut where she lived temporarily, and even sliced a part of a rock and then slashed down their current or their wagon or some sort of, and they just looked at her. I can understand their frustration now because all she had done for being there is cause them pain, frustration, but all this. Especially when Rose and Finn was found on this casino planet. We could see a little more detail on new aliens, new characters, especially with that small alien who thought that BB-8 was some sort of a machine to win cash or credits. But no way. But BB-8 was an actually kind of interesting. It has the bigger part in this movie and in the first one. Like controlling that ATA walker or ATSA walker, well, one of those walkers actually. And one of those new ATA walkers has much different designs. I mean, their front legs seems to be almost like has if you're knock like they were like knuckles from the hands right on the ground. And it was okay. I know the size for an ATA walkers, okay, but then even to that big cannon they used on the old rebellion, the Rebel Alliance base was something I was not even thought could exist. And even they showed new creatures in this new movie, like the porks, those bird-like creatures from the Acto, and those crystalline wolves or fox on the rebel planet, and even those four-legged creatures, like if they were like big dogs or something. Those were something I kind of thought looked cool. But from all among these characters, there was one particular character I thought may have a great potential to become something bigger. The boy in the ending of the movie was using his force connection to bring a broom to his hand. I mean, seeing him there at the ending of the opening of the door, holding the broom in one of his hands, it looks like he was holding a lightsaber. That might prove that he could become a new Jedi under teaching of Rey. Among all this new movie, I thought it had some sort of great but some disappointing parts. Especially when, well, Snoke, for example, and that he portrayed, or not portrayed, but just played out Kylo Ren for all this. But Kylo Ren, even he's not that the leader type, but he is still a badass character. That I have to say for it. He is one of my best character in new Star Wars series, even from Finn and Poe. But still, Kylo Ren is still totally badass, awesome character. Even he is not the leader type. And even see Luke return back to the rebellion or to the resistance, but not in person. He used the Force to make some sort of an astral projection of himself. But that kind of power or the Force has never even been explained how that even works. And just to see him fight against Kylo Ren on the planet was awesome. Especially when I thought he was actually there, and they used his weapons from those ETA walkers to blast him, but discovered that he was still alive. I was not prepared for that. I was, wow, he actually survived an AT walker's blasters. Okay, first I thought, before I even thought about know that he was there in using the Force, I thought, okay, if he survived on that kind of much blasters, he must be using some sort of a very strong Force technique. But no. From all of us, what can say from that Luke returned, but at the same time never left the planet. I was disappointed about it, but I can understand how we felt that he betrayed or failed Kylo Ren or Ben Solo, what he was named earlier. But almost from all of this, there was, oh, wow, it was, I don't know what to expect. And even to see Snoke's flagship, it was unbelievable. Only one type of the ship has been built, and this ship was 60 kilometers wide long. It was unbelievable big ship. Ah, wow! I mean, it is unbelievable. And even to see Mars Canada just for a brief moment in the movie was actually kind of awesome to see her fight for some. I don't know what she was fighting for. She called it the Union, but I have no idea. But this movie has one of those great moments, the great fighting, and at least the deep more detail of why Luke felt he's betrayed or failed Kylo Ren. It was something I will not expect, and those two new type of Force abilities. It was something I had never thought going to be exist. But from all of this, what do I think about the movie? Well, it is an awesome movie. It was even more better than Force Awakens. That can I say for sure. But if I had to give this movie a rating, well, you may think I will give it an A+, but no. I will give it B+, at least, or yeah, B+. Then I would like to hear what you think about this new movie. Leave in the comment box below, and as always, this is Switch over and out.